looking for. All right? Now, what happens is this. This is all about what we call personal financial success. It's different for everyone, but let me explain what it really is. Now, this point right here, you may have never heard before, but you need to write it down. First of all, it says, you must work 100 hours a day. Okay? You got it. If you're trying to figure out how do you get free financially, you got to work 100 hours a day. Now, whenever I say this to people, they give me the deer stare, like y'all looking at me now. All right? How in the heck do you do that? There's only 24 hours in a day. Well, I'm here to tell you that there's two ways of making money that was not introduced to us traditionally. And that's why we're here, so that we can learn. First of all, we're going to talk to you tonight about making what is called leveraged income. That's another way of making income. And the other way is called residual income. Now, let's explain. How do you work these 100 hours a day? First of all, leveraged income says that you get paid off the efforts of others. Now, if you're trying to wonder what that is, like employees are leveraged by the what? The employer. The employer makes a certain amount of money off each employee. Does everybody understand that? Because we got some people, when they get involved in a business, sometimes they go down this road. Is this one of them things where you get some people and I said, well, where do you work? Are you the only one that works there? Do they have a department that hires people? You know, and the answer to that, of course, is what? Yes. But see, they only understand it from the viewpoint of an employee, not as an employer. We're teaching you how to think like an employer. And you don't want to be the only person in your business, because then it's going to take a whole lot more time for you to accomplish your goal. So that's why we teach leveraged income. Now, to give you an example of that, it works like this. If you had 40 associates that got involved with you, and each of them worked 2.5 hours a day, you are now working 100 hours a day. But you're not the only one doing it. This will change your life, because most of us don't have enough time to try to do it totally on our own. Does that make sense, everyone? Yes. Okay, next, residual income. What is residual income? Residual income is learning to do the work one time, but continuing to get paid for it. Quick example, that would be like someone installing cable into your house. How many times do they install cable?
One time.
One time. Now, how often do people pay them?
Every month.
Every month. So they got a system where somebody physically does the work. They say, you like the picture? It looks nice. And when they leave every month, you faithfully send them a what? A check. That's why Time Warner's kids will never have to worry about nothing in this lifetime. Nothing. Because we make sure that they're squared away. So the question is, what about your family? What about you? So we're going to teach people that there's more than one way to make money, like we were taught, which is called linear income. That means you go trade time for money. That's what our college students are learning. They don't want to do that same thing that their parents did and just get by. Life is more important than just getting by. If that's all life is ahead, I would go home and just chill out and say, what the heck? Okay? I want to live the life. This is America. Thank God for America. All right? So if you understand that, that's what it works. Now, what I want is to make sure my first time people seeing this, because I want you to be honest here, guess what? I'm going to ask you a question that everyone should know the answer. And the first thing I'm going to ask you is, what is their product? How many of y'all know this symbol right here? Who does it represent? McDonald's. Y'all, everybody here ever heard of McDonald's? Okay. All right. And tonight you heard about Too Smart Evolution. But what I want to ask you a question real quick, simply put, what is McDonald's, what is their product? What do they do? Y'all can help me. What do they do?
Sell hamburgers.
Sell hamburgers? Okay, all right. Would y'all agree?
Yeah.
Okay. That's, if I asked 100 people, 99% of them would say that's what they do. But tonight I'm going to show you what they actually do. What McDonald's does is they're in what is called ownership duplication. They're in ownership duplication. We're in ownership duplication. Now the next question is, it says, how do they serve the entrepreneur? How does McDonald's serve the entrepreneur? What do they allow an entrepreneur to do? Y'all talk to me. What do you think they allow them to do? Open up their own franchise, right? So McDonald's will allow people who want to be in business for themselves become a franchise owner. Isn't that something? Yes. So McDonald's understands that we won't sell 1 billion hamburgers if we don't have enough what? Restaurants out there. They're called outlets. See, we understand the same thing. So in my econ, we understand that we offer people a what? An independent business ownership position, which is like a franchisee, so that their goal is to open up what? Outlets. The more people we put in business, the more people is going to hear the story about what it is we do, showing people how to get free financially. Now, the next thing you have to look at is, well, how do they serve the consumer? You see, McDonald's has an expansion program. I don't know if y'all know that, but when Ray Kroc got started in business, Ray Kroc found out that the average person didn't have a business, but they wanted one. So they gave them an opportunity to actually go out and be in business for themselves. So every time they showed that program and a person bought in, they started to do what? Expand. Now there's a McDonald's pretty much in every corner there is in the United States. And they put up a sign when they get ready to build one that says what? Here we grow again. How many of y'all seen that sign? All right, here we grow again. Well, we are expanding the same way. Every time we put a new associate in business, guess what? Here we grow again. And we got some friends here that are put in business from Arkansas. They didn't have to go all the way to Arkansas to get in business, but they saw the opportunity and they got involved. That's another outlet. So whoever that person that put them in business has an outlet now here in Greensboro. Isn't that powerful? Wow. See, that's what it's all about. So what happens with that? Well, now, what do they serve the consumer? Well, guess what? This is what they serve the consumer. McDonald's has a fast food menu, do they not? Yes. This is where you get the hamburgers, the French fries, and the burritos, and whatever. I mean, if they can put it in the store, they'll do it. Guess who sells more toys in the United States than anybody else? McDonald's. Some people say Toys R Us. No, it's McDonald's. Every time that kid get a Happy Meal, there's a toy in there, and they move more toys than anybody because they have more what? Outlets. Does that make sense? Now let's take a look at what we do in MyEcon. First of all, is personal financial success or financial education and services. Now when you look at that, e-commerce is one of the things that we do here. E-commerce is we're putting people in business on the internet. The reason we choose the internet is because when does the internet close down, y'all?
Never.
Never. So if I have an internet business, when am I in business?
Always.
All the time. 24/7, 365. So we have a unique way to put people in business where they're in business all the time. That solves another tax issue that most people might have. Next, we talk about cash flow strategies. Inside the software, there is a program that teaches people where they are financially. They tell us where they want to end up, and the program shows them what it's going to take to get there. It's like a financial roadmap. We call it the cash flow strategies. Also, asset, income, and legal protection. All of that's in a program we have called the Family Shield 360. We'll talk about that a little more. And of course, we also have credit restoration. Y'all know folks in America, their credit for the most part is what? Jacked up. Okay? They can act like it is and no, it's jacked up. Alright? So we have a solution for improving their credit score. When they improve their credit score, they can get loans at a cheaper rate. They can pay bills at a cheaper rate. This saves them money, and that's what it's all about. We think it's a big deal. Alright? Income shifting is what we do. We're going to teach people how to shift their income and do something positive with the money. Let's take a look at the first thing that we do. First of all, we have what is called minimized taxes. We think every red-blooded American should be interested in minimizing their taxes. What do y'all think? Okay? Yes. So if there was a way to minimize the taxes so I can keep more of my money, do you think we should be telling everybody we know that there's a solution for that? All right, so we'll talk about that. And you notice what it says. Being in business for yourself actually makes that a reality. Second thing we do is generate business income. Now they kind of interrelated, but we want you to understand when we say generate business income, we're talking about everyone that has a job should also have a plan B. I look at people all the time and say, man, that's great, I'm glad you love your job, but what's your plan B? That means if they take A from you, what's it going to be? Alright? And we know most folks, the B is going to stand for what? Broke. Alright? So we're going to give them a plan B, and we think that that should make working on a job a whole lot better, because I know if they take it away from me, I got something else I can do. I think that's a big deal. Now, within that, there are a couple of things that we do. Within generating business income, we do that by showing people how to reduce their expenses and how to eliminate their debt, because that's a program inside our software, and you'll see how that works. And number 3 is asset accumulation. After it's all said and done, a wise person takes the money that they're used to spending. When they can spend less of it, they take the difference and put it into what? Investments so they eventually can get their money returning the favor, their money working for them. Does that make sense? Now here's what's important for us to understand.